Hi, my name is Sarah Brundage, and I'm with Enterprise Community Partners.
And I'm Jennifer Schwartz with the National Council of State Housing Agencies.
Our two organizations co-chair the National Action Campaign, and this video series will walk through the provisions of the newly reintroduced Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act.
The Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act would expand and strengthen the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program and was reintroduced in both the Senate and the House on June 4th.
To learn more about this bill and access Action's many advocacy resources, visit the website at www.rentalhousingaction.org.
Multifamily housing bonds, which are essential to the Housing Credit Program because they are the only way to access the 4% credit, fall under the private activity bond volume cap. Essentially, each state only has so much private activity bond volume cap authority that they can issue each year for a variety of uses that include multifamily housing bonds as well as single-family bonds, among other things. States and localities have found that it is often efficient to finance the construction and development of low-income rental housing projects using a series of short-term obligations or a combination of short-term and long-term debt. The short-term debt is typically paid off after only a couple of years, often shortly following completion of the project. This means that the private activity bond volume cap used for the short-term debt was essentially lost upon repayment. To address this loss of volume cap, Congress allowed states to recycle what would otherwise be lost bond volume cap into new multifamily bond finance properties. These properties do not get the 4% credit. And complexities in the law make it very difficult from a timing perspective to actually take advantage of recycling. For these reasons, only a couple of the most sophisticated state agencies have actually used bond recycling. There are also limits that impede the utility of multifamily bond recycling and technical challenges that have made recycling needlessly difficult to do in practice.
Provision 601 of the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act would reduce some of the burdens currently imposed by recycling rules and increase flexibility to allow more efficient affordable housing production. It would allow states to use recycled bond authority not only for multifamily properties, but also for single-family homeownership, including veterans' mortgage bonds. Because states could use these recycled resources to finance homeownership, they could devote more new volume cap to additional multifamily properties, which would then be able to access the 4% credit. This is especially important as more and more states are starting to become bond cap constrained. The provision would also extend some of the timing constraints on recycling to increase flexibility. For example, allowing 12 months instead of 6 months to issue the recycled bonds after the initial loan repayment. To learn more about this provision or any other provision of the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act, please visit Action's website at www.rentalhousingaction.org.